Welcome out to the Epically Geeky Show, episode number 145. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight's opening question is, what movie from your childhood are you afraid to revisit as an adult because you're afraid it's probably not going to hold up? Would anyone like to go first?
Sure.
Ray, what movie are you afraid to rewatch from your childhood because you're just like, I don't know if this is going to work?
I've got two.
Okay.
One is Over the Top. I loved that movie when I was a kid.
Oh my god, yes, it was so good back then.
Just the over yeah. That was I know it's not gonna hold up today.
That is a fantastic pick.
Mm-hmm.
The other one for me, I loved this movie, but I know it's not gonna hold up. Time Cops. Friggin' I love that movie.
Yeah, probably.
And I guarantee you it's gonna be crap. So,
I have a feeling most of his movies are not going to hold up very well.
Yeah, probably.
Because back then we kind of looked past the acting just for the action, and now it's like the action is probably just okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it was awesome back then, but like now it's like cartoons have got more action in it. So, but, Chris, do you have an answer for this one?
Yes. So my grandparents had satellite when I was a kid, which was a big deal because they got the Disney Channel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was glued to that when I was staying there a lot when I was a kid. And one of my favorite movies, and I haven't watched this probably since I was about 9 or 10, was The Three Caballeros. It came out in 1944. I'm a little concerned. I have the song in my head in a loop right now, but yeah, I can't. I don't want to go watch it. Because in my head, it's like, oh, it's part of my childhood. If I watch it now, my childhood could die.
That would probably work for the main topic, too.
Yeah.
That's one of Elaine's favorite movies as well. And we have had a serious discussion as to whether or not it's racist and if it would offend me. Because I've never seen it. And so we have not watched it yet.
Okay.
And I have a feeling that if I were to sit there and watch it with her, it would be sort of like Three Amigos, but then I would just be staring at her the whole time like, that's okay? Why do you think that's okay?
Rooster, who's wearing this giant sombrero, and he's wearing like the bullfighter kind of outfit, and he's got a gun, and that's supposed to represent somebody from Mexico. And then the other character is got like a suit with like a bowler hat on, but he's got a cigar, and he's a parrot, and that's supposed to represent Brazil.
Yeah.
And then Donald Duck.
Gunshot, like Carmen Miranda's sister sings in it and stuff like that too.
You did say though that they did actually get a lot of Mexican.
They got a lot
actors,
of Latin American people in it.
But who knows what it's actually.
Well, but
like.
it was in 1944, so.
Yeesh.
You know, it was supposed to be an extension, like, here, we love you, Latin America, and it's like, do you?
Jen, what is the movie you're thinking of?
Okay, I didn't fully prepare for this, but so I've seen this movie since my childhood, and it did not hold up for me, but people love this movie, and The Labyrinth. So I love the puppeteering and all that stuff, but the story is too fucking weird, and the fact that he's creepily like perving after this young girl, kidnapping her brother, just couldn't do it. I was just weirded out, and I remember as a kid thinking it was cool, but then rewatching it, and I didn't remember the story. I was like, oh, this is not okay.
Showed it to Quinn when we showed it to Quinn because he's really into that magic puppetry and stuff. And I remember watching this and I'm like, this is pervy.
Bad,
this is not good.
Yeah, it was weird, and it's just fucking weird, right? Just the story doesn't make sense in addition to all that. So
45-year-old going after a 17-year-old.
I think she was like 15 or something at the time.
Yeah, she was really young.
She was a teenager.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and go real quick because Joseph actually requested to go last. The one actually I just thought of that, and I thought of it because of what you were saying about the Disney Channel is, I loved this movie as a kid. It's very, very vanilla. But it's because it's an older live action Disney movie, and that is The Cat from Outer Space. I loved that movie as a kid, and I'm sure the special effects on it look horrible.
Just the title alone doesn't instill any confidence.
So it's this.
I don't know that movie.
It's a cat, and it has a collar on that lights up, and that's what allows it to talk because it's an alien. Yeah, they actually remade it back in the 90s. And I think Dougie Fresh was in it, just to give you an idea of the level of remake it was making.
Is it the cat from Captain Marvel, or?
No, it's just the
It's an
cat
alien
from
cat?
outer space.
Not a cat.
So, yeah, I don't think, and it is on Disney Plus, and I've seen it, and I'm just like, do I dare? No, just let it be in your memory, and yeah. So, Joseph, what movie are you not?
So I actually thought of two of them while we were kind of going through all of this.
All right.
I don't remember in which order these came out. I'm going to assume the first one I'm going to say is newer, I guess. The original Power Rangers movie. I remember loving that. But now that would probably be shit. That's the first one.
I thought the special effects in that movie were not great then.
Yeah. And then this one just popped into my mind as you were talking, Eugene. The second Ninja Turtles movie. Because the first one was so good. But the second one was just like,
Good.
it was not good. Then I watched it. I own the trilogy of the Ninja Turtles movies, you know? But the second one and third one were just such a letdown from the...
I was going to say the second one was a little letdown. The third one was terrible.
Yeah.
I have never actually seen the third one. I saw the trailer for it and was just like, no, I'm not in for this.
No, you need to go see it now.
Well,
Oh, no.
New idea for new podcast. We all watch terrible movies.
We floated that idea, and actually we ended up going more so with the idea of procrastinators. And since that may be dead, I've thought about that because I don't know if everyone can commit to an hour and a half, 2 hour, it should be doable. But yes, I mean,
Like a Master Pancake style thing?
not even that, like just literally like, hey, here's a movie from way back when. I haven't seen it since then or whatever. Has anyone else seen it? Y'all haven't seen it? Great. That's what we're watching this month.
Evil Dead. First submission.
Don't you dare.
I have our first pick.
No.
Which is?
It's a terrible movie.
It's
called
awful.
My Chauffeur.
My Chauffeur?
It's a terrible
It's
movie.
awful. And it's a side family joke between him and his sister, and they both think it's hilarious. And then I watched it. We were like early dating. I'm like, what the fuck is this? He's laughing, thinking it's hilarious because it's bringing up all these childhood memories.
But it doesn't have to be a terrible movie. It can just be an older movie, like.
Oh, it's
That's
terrible.
fair, but this is an older and terrible.
Okay. See, like I would be like, let's watch like the original 67 Night of the Living Dead. Like if you haven't seen it, like that's the best zombie movie ever. So.
I'll have to pass on that.
Well, yeah, any of the horror ones you're passing. Eugene's paused anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, the show's going to continue on without Eugene.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
There you are.
Okay. Great. What the hell's going on? It's gonna be one of those nights. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our main topic so that it doesn't hopefully keep freezing up. So I think, was this your idea, Joseph? I believe. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Joseph threw around the idea of what movies would, from our childhood or from growing up or whatever, would be canceled by today's society, and I took this as these movies aren't being remade today, are being made today. We're just going back and looking at it and be like, yes, no, that does not fly anymore. And so we were going to go around, we were going to, bring up a movie, talk about why it would probably be canceled. And then I thought if we wanted to, we could also maybe see if we can find a way to fix it. That may not be the case in some of these. Some of these may just be like, yeah, that is. So, for example, a movie I didn't put on my list. I'm just going to throw out there real quick. A movie that I loved as a kid, and I just don't think there's any way to save this movie, is The Toy with Richard Pryor. Let's see. He's a black man that is purchased as a human toy by a guy who like has ties to the KKK. It is oh my god, it is hilarious because because Richard Pryor knows what he's doing in the movie. He knows why he's in the movie and his casting. He knows all of that stuff. Like he partially wrote it, but it was just like there's no way you can save this movie. But it is hilarious. So
very much of its time.
Oh well, like
isn't Gene Wilder the person that purchases?
No, it's oh god, what's his name? That I can't think of his name. I'll have to look this up. Anyway, but no, like there's a scene like where he's married to a much younger woman and there's like a painting or whatever and he finds a button and like the clothes disappear from it and come back. It's just, like that type of stuff. He has a son that he's trying to, buy whatever he wants, because he's trying to buy his love or whatever. But that's kind of like the central theme to it. But like his last name is Bates, and so the butler calls him Master Bates, and no one else laughs except for Richard Pryor, and every time he just busts up. So
is it Scott Schwartz? That's
I don't think so. I'll have to look it up.
That's
anyway,
the last name Bates on the.
Okay.
I'm gonna look it up.
All right. So who would like to go first? What's the first movie that you think would be canceled? Anyone?
I'll go first.
All right, Joseph. What is the first movie you think would be canceled by today's society?
I think that the movie the movie on throw out as a whole should mostly be okay up until the end. And just because especially because it's Pride Month right now, I have to throw this out. Ace Ventura, the scene with Einhorn at the end, and the blatant
That was one of my picks, damn it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of transphobia in that movie.
Yes.
So the movie itself, like if you could pull that part out, it's pretty. I mean, it's a good movie. It's funny, but that part right there, definitely get canceled.
Yeah.
Real quick, who I was thinking of is Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason plays the guy who purchases him. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. Yes, absolutely. I don't think anything else necessarily. Like
some of the jokes maybe, but
yeah, there may be some jokes that are a little questionable. But yeah, the whole end scene with the Einhorn and Finkel just.
That was a big. Somebody could mention the.
I was going to say
institution.
Breaking into the mental institution.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Doesn't shine a good light on people in the mental institution.
Yeah.
Brilliant scene of acting on Jim Carrey in terms of a physical actor. It's very exhausting for him. But yeah, that would not.
That wouldn't fly today.
So would he still have to go to the mental institution, or would it just be toned way down?
I think it would be.
You'd have to change the story. Keep the type of character you can.
Right.
But you would have to change the story enough that you're not going to a mental institution.
Maybe it's more if he goes to the Hall of Records kind of things, but it's not such a huge part of the movie. It's just a small scene.
Yeah.
That
would work.
And still go to the family and talk about it.
Oh yeah.
And that's a real thing too, like the mom having a nervous break from reality because her son just also had a nervous break from reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keeping the room the same and all that. Yeah, she was cute. Oh, I liked her. She was so cute. She was also in
another good movie.
And Ghostbusters. She was a legend.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. No. Yeah. What's funny was that someone actually referenced that in something else I was listening to, and I was just like, yeah, that wouldn't hold up. So that scene in particular definitely wouldn't hold up. So, I don't know. Maybe just. I don't know. I don't even know how you would do that necessarily. Like maybe just like it blows his mind that they're the same person or whatever, and he freaks out about that because he's like, how stupid have I been or whatever, but can't do the whole crying in the shower thing.
No.
that whole the reveal and everything. That whole thing's got to be done. That's cut completely.
So that's a good start. That's a good start there. Tell you what, I'll jump in with my next one. I went with an animated movie, and this is a movie I have not shown the boys, specifically because of some of the stuff that is depicted in it, and it's The Secret of NIMH.
Okay.
Yeah, the reason why I think it would be canceled is because, well, first off, the whole reason for everything is she has to move her family because they're on a farm, and that portrays the farmer as evil.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, we got to change this up a little bit. Like maybe the farmer is having to sell the farm or something, and like maybe they're worried about, industrialists coming in and doing something or whatever. So that would have to change because we can't really portray the farmer as being evil. There are definitely, well, I'll get to that here in a second. The animal testing, not really a good scene. That's kind of one of the reasons I've kind of held back from watching it with the boys. I mean, it does portray animal testing as being wrong. But on the other hand, that's also how they became super smart, the mice and the rats. But the main thing is there's definitely kind of a racial overtone between the mice and the rats, because the mice are all smart and civilized, and along with all the other animals, and the rats are
darker fur.
Yeah, darker fur, more violent. Not. So we're gonna have to, if nothing else, mix up some of the species a little bit and have some good rats and some bad mice and maybe throw in some other animals. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's one of those movies. That was actually the first one I thought of. I was just like, yeah, I don't think this movie would fly nowadays. Like, first off, parents would look at this and be like, I am not taking my child to watch this. So, yeah. Any other thoughts on that one, or?
I'm not familiar with that one.
No,
You've never seen it?
No, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, the animation in it is gorgeous. It is a beautiful, beautiful movie. It very much reminds me of the I say special effects in it, the way that they do like shimmering and like brightness and stuff. It very much reminds me of the animation for like Dragon Slayer. It's that type. It's very rich. It's very, you can tell it was, there was a lot of time put into this movie. So it's also kind of sad. It's also a very sad movie. So it's yeah, it's definitely not one that you walk out of the movie theater and be like, I feel good for the rest of the day. So you just kind of feel icky. You're like, well, that was the thing I watched. So, yeah. Jen, you want to go next?
Sure. This isn't a movie that necessarily came out in my childhood, but I watched it when I was older. And it's mostly good, kind of like the rest of them. But Breakfast at Tiffany's has that scene with Mickey Rooney, essentially an Asian face, like being a terrible stereotype, and yeah, so that's not great.
No, it's not.
Back when they hired white people to be people of color instead of just hiring the people who actually were that race. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's anything else in the movie that I can recall.
I've never seen it.
I've never watched it. Yeah.
I've seen it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. That definitely went on. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else that wouldn't hold. I mean, was he he wasn't like a lot older than her, was he?
Love interest? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So I was gonna say that might be the only other thing, might be.
Yeah, the age.
But I don't think so. I don't think there was a huge age difference either. So, no, that's a good one. So got a true classic in there. So, Ray, what's your first one?
I'm going to go and keep it light for the first one.
Okay.
Nothing like playing with a dead body. So Weekend at Bernie's.
Do tell.
Made a sequel too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole playing with a dead body and, just so you can have a good weekend. I'm not sure that's going to fly anymore.
It just sounds stupid when you say it out loud.
It's gross. It's so gross.
On top of that, right, you've got the people that are like there's a girl that's trying to get with Bernie, and like it's just there's way too many scenes that are
Yeah. A little
hilarious when you're like 12, but
Or have a 12-year-old
especially in the sequel when they reanimate him through like some God, I can't remember what it was, some I don't remember what it was, some black magic or something. And so now he's going around like an island, and he walks around and he's underwater, and I'm like, oh my God.
I don't even remember the sequel now that I think about it.
Yeah. Surprised there was one.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's how memorable it was.
Exactly. And yet someone in Hollywood was like, no, we've got to make this sequel. Like, it'll make all the money. Chris, what's your first one?
I have two, but they're about the same thing. So Shallow Hal and the Nutty Professor movies with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, Shallow Hal probably should have been canceled when it came out.
yeah. When it came out, they were already like, okay, this is in really poor taste. When Eddie Murphy's came out, it was more like, holy crap, that man did like 5 characters, all like just more like the sheer energy that Eddie put into it, and it was funny. I think the first one came out like 95 or 96. So the way that they did the camera work and the way the prosthetics and everything like that,
Editing, yeah.
But then I went to watch it with the kids. I don't know how old they were. And I think I got about 10 minutes into it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible.
Yeah. Too, right?
Well, that too. And the N-word was being tossed around a lot too. And I know Eddie Murphy in his stand-up, uses it a lot.
But not in a kids movie.
Not in a kids movie. You can't do it in a kids movie. So that one just doesn't. It's firmly in its time, and I don't even know how you would even rework that. Like I don't remember the first Nutty Professor with Jerry Lewis. I don't even remember what. Oh no, did he do Flubber or was he the Nutty Professor?
No. Robin Williams Flubber.
No, yeah.
Oh, the original.
But he remade that one too, so.
Yeah. So I didn't see those, but yeah, the Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy and Shallow Hal. I just feel like those were.
That one's definitely a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then save that. You can't. It's you're better. It's just talks, like how life would be better if you were thin.
Yeah, because even if you went with a different angle, even if you went with, oh, it's not her weight, it's maybe how she looks, and it's like, no, now you're picking on something else. Like it's.
You're picking on something else to nitpick on something that's not in their control.
Yeah.
For not to be with them. So.
Yeah. Now, I understand the premise of the movie was to not worry about that, but they really
screwed that
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That message was totally lost, especially when she she's undressing and she kicks her underwear at him and he holds them up and they're this big.
Yeah.
And portraying a large woman as having this voracious appetite and she takes 3/4 of the cake and things like that. And Jason Alexander's character calling her a rhino and stuff. So
there's a lot that wouldn't work.
It's amazing to me how some of these movies get made because there are so many layers they have to get approved by.
Yeah.
Nobody thought to say.
In both those, in Shallow Hal, it's Gwyneth Paltrow, Jack Black, Jason Alexander.
Big names, yeah.
Names in these movies, and.
Well, even the big guy, the motivational speakers in it too.
Oh yeah,
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that movie.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
All right, Joseph, what's your next one?
So I'm gonna skip around on my list here just because this one kind of ties into something that happened more recently.
Okay.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom for its portrayal of the Indian people, and then specifically that episode of The Office where they go to a Diwali celebration, and Angela's like, but they eat monkey brains, and it's there's that tie right there. So yeah, I don't know how you fix that because that's basically the whole premise of the movie that they're in India, but
I think the only way you change it is by it's like a cult of multiple different people.
Mm-hmm.
And even that, it's ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see maybe just doing a cult of really horrible people. Like if you really horrible them up, like, you know, not only have they stolen this idol from the indigenous people, like they're like fucking like cutting down the forest and like I said, really make them bad.
Yeah.
So that might work.
Stuff that Captain Planet would not approve.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. That's a good pick, actually. I think that one crossed my path for a second, and I was just like, no, I'll keep going. Because at first I was like, I think I just kind of hit on the first one though, and I didn't even think. Because I'll be honest with you, I really like Raiders, and I really like Last Crusade. Temple of Doom's okay, but I don't have to watch it if I'm watching those movies.
There's some great miniatures in Temple of Doom. The miniatures of them going through the cart.
Yes.
Scene. And there's miniatures and the people actually move. It's all like clockwork on the inside of that cart. It's incredible. But the movie, yeah, it was.
I mean, if you think about the other two, the Nazis are the bad guys, so it's real easy to put a label on them.
And see, that's when I think Indiana Jones, that's what I want to see. I want to see Indiana Jones fighting Nazis. And so I think that's also partially why the second movie I was just like, go back to fighting Nazis. So, my second movie is one you'll probably be surprised that I would bring up. Honestly, don't know if this is kind of a stretch. This is one of the ones where I kind of stretched a little bit. Not sure if Ghostbusters will make it. We might have to change some things, particularly the fact that that is definitely a thing. It's kind of like, why did you have a sedative in your bag when you were going on a date? Just asking. No, so I was more so thinking of who's the bad guy in that movie?
Who's the bad guy in?
Who's the bad guy in Ghostbusters?
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
The EPA. The Environmental Protection Agency. Because had Dickless not shown up and shut off the thing, we wouldn't have had the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you could definitely have a movie where the EPA is portrayed as the bad guy anymore.
No, but you could make it a government official of some sort.
Yeah, you could make
government.
it
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Government thing, but definitely not the EPA.
Yeah, and the other thing I thought of was something else. I'm like, and I've told Lainey this. I've wanted to do this sometime. May still do this down the line. If you really want to stretch it, you could say, well, you're out there catching these ghosts or whatever from deceased people. Don't they have rights? Like, do you really have the right to remove someone from a house they occupied for most of their life? So, because I've told Lainey, like, I have wanted to go, like, going to visit, like, San Antonio or whatever, and go visit, the San Antonio group down there, and dress up as a protester and protest in front of their booth for the rights of the deceased. I think that would be hilarious, as long as they were cool with it. So
that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I think that would be funny. But yeah, those were the three things. Where Peter's actions are a little questionable.
He's got a thing for Sigourney Weaver's character, and just sort of doesn't
let up.
Let it go.
Yeah, it doesn't take
at the beginning, like really creepy at the beginning, and then
backs off a bit. Yeah.
Backs off when he gets too serious. But yeah, like the whole initial thing is a bit comes off a little strong.
Yep, sure does. So that was my second movie. Jen, what's your next one?
I'm gonna go with Heathers.
Oh!
I haven't seen the movie in a long ass time, but the overarching theme of like just taking violence so flippantly, and watched in today's light where there's a school shooting every other day, and I don't think that would hold up very well. I watched the musical a few years ago after not having seen the movie in a long time, and I was just like, oh my god, this was not a good movie, not a good story. Like how did we ever think this was, a cult classic or whatever? It's terrible.
They tried to remake Heathers. They tried to do it, and it fell flat.
Yeah. And I don't know how it became a Broadway musical after the movie, because but yeah,
I've never seen it, so that's interesting.
It's a trip.
I may have to go back and watch it sometime just to Just to
It's got
see
a good cast too. I mean, Christian Slater, Shannon Doherty, what's her name?
Winona Ryder.
Yeah, Winona Ryder. But
I don't remember.
seems like in the 80s, right? Early 90s, 80s.
Yeah, mid 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Christian Slater's character is like a psychopath and
Kills a lot of people.
and thinks it's hilarious. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, we could probably throw almost all of the 80s slasher horror flicks into this thing, but, you know, whatever. Ray, what's your next one?
I'm going to go one that's near and dear to my heart.
Oh, yeah, this one was
I grew up on a lot of these movies. I have an uncle that's in one as an extra in one of them. That's the Police Academy movies.
How did that not cross my radar?
Oh, they can't hold up.
So bad.
They would get canceled so quick. A lot of depictions of everything, right? You've
Racist, sexist, just
got homophobic.
yeah.
Yeah, you name it, it's all in there, and I loved those movies when I was a kid.
Yeah, because they were hilarious as a kid.
Well, and you know, your dad's a cop, and you got two uncles that are cops.
Yep. To the point of one of my uncles who is a cop was in I think it was the third or fourth one where they're going up in the hot air balloons. He's one of the extras on the ground. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I can never pick him out, but they're for filming. So yeah, it was interesting.
I've only ever seen one of those.
I tried rewatching one of them like recently. I don't remember, but I was partway through it. I'm like, ooh, this is bad.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Now, if you're gonna remake it or if you're gonna redo it, I think the only way you do it is if you do it like as a like a drama where it's like very serious and hardcore, and you actually do it where it's like that style where it's more of a very serious way through it, or you go very comedy but you make it like appropriate comedy.
Do like documentary.
Yeah, documentary style would be alright too, but yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to call anyone out. I mean, I will say they did have a kind of eclectic cast. You know, we had some African Americans, we did have some females. Probably change that up a little bit. You probably could keep some of the archetypes the same, like, you know, like Tackleberry could still be this like super focused militia. So you know what? It maybe like you would definitely have to rewrite this comedy though.
Oh yeah, the comedy is, and Steve Guttenberg can't be in it. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah.
But
Can he have
yeah,
a cameo? Can he just walk in, say something, walk back out? Or
listen, if he was the commissioner, maybe like that would be okay.
that might actually be really funny.
If he's the commissioner, then maybe you could get away with it.
Yeah.
It's just the bumbling, right? Like the
Yeah.
Maybe.
That might not. Yeah, that might work. Of course. Well, no, I'm not. I was gonna say, you know, of course, right now, you know, police really aren't in the brightest light. So, at least in some areas. So who knows? This might be something we have to hold off on a little bit first, so before we remake it.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
So another one two of them that I kind of put in the same category is Disney's Peter Pan and 16 Candles. And just because of their not so great portrayals of the minorities in there. And I can't remember the actor's name who played Long Duck Dong. You could change that. You could change it very easily. Either just not have an exchange student because they just, I love John Q movies. I love them so much, but that one's particularly terrible. Just with that, and then with the Peter Pan one.
Yeah.
That, and even when they did the remake, and then Mara Rooney was friggin' Tiger Lily, that didn't go over well either. So not even Tiger Lily, and she admits it. Oops.
Yeah. Oops.
Well, the song that keeps coming to mind is "Why Is the Red Man Red?"
Oh yeah. What makes the red man red? Yeah. Peter Pan.
I
We watched that with the kids. And I was like,
yeah. I totally forgot and I got all excited. He's like, oh, we can show the kids these movies now. I love these as a kid. And then it comes
We're
on.
watching.
I'm like, oh.
So did the kids say anything, or?
No, they were too young when
They
they
were
first
too young
watched
then.
it.
Okay.
If we were to show, like Logan knows about it now, but if she
Oh
would see
yeah,
it now,
she'd
she
be
would
like,
just be.
what are we watching?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Joseph, what's your next one?
Airplane. And I thought of one particular scene where the woman is hysterical and there's just a line of people ready to slap some sense into her, you know?
Yeah.
And that's one of the best fucking scenes.
Yeah.
You know what? Seriously, just change it to a dude that is,
Uh-huh.
is whatever. But that scene of just the line of people ready to slap the shit out. Because nowadays, if you were to do an airplane thing, you can make it so it's the asshole that doesn't want to, do whatever,
Mhm.
and everyone on the plane is just like, nope, I'm slapping the
Wear
shit
a mask.
Yeah.
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 I
So-
saw that in one of the lists I looked at too, and almost used it.
It's a great movie overall. Just that. Also the little girl and the black coffee, and that little scene as well. A little much for children, but oh well.
Yeah, it's man, I need to go back and rewatch that movie.
It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
The next one I had was Goonies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't really, call out Chunk like you did. That's not really, child. Yeah. Not to mention flat out child abuse that probably doesn't fly too well. I mean, granted, it is the bad guys.
Yeah. They also have Sloth.
That's the other thing is, I don't know how. I don't think that would. I don't know how you would change that and still have it work okay. So, yeah, I just don't think it could be remade or be made today.
No,
So,
I like that. No. It would have to be a completely different story.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I love that. And like I said, I haven't shown the boys that movie yet. They're the right age.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they are.
So it may be one of those things that we watch this summer or whatever. So what's funny though is, I do still see, references to it about, hey, you guys. And it's just like, okay, well, as long as it lives in the past, that's fine. We can make references. But yeah, nowadays I don't see it. Don't see it flying. So, and I love that movie. Jen, what's your next one?
I'm gonna go with American Pie. So
Okay.
I know it's a very pop culture phenomenon, at least in the States. But there's just, was it up there?
Yeah.
But there's just some, issues with consent in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
He records the girl without her consent. And then also Stifler's mom seducing a teenager. So there's things like that probably wouldn't hold up today. Not to mention all the weird sex jokes and stuff that may or may not, pass muster.
Yeah.
The whole movie's pretty dated.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But then, there'd be a large section of Pornhub that wouldn't be a thing because MILF would not be. And I was like, seriously, that is where that term came from? And it's like, that's documented. That's where I'm just like, well, if nothing else, it'll always be remembered for that term. I'm just like, that's just crazy that kind of a throwaway line in this movie.
I thought you were going to say a whole section of Pornhub dedicated to fucking pies.
Oh.
I was like, Eugene.
Who knows? That could be a thing. I was just referencing the thing.
Yeah.
So, can y'all hear Jen? I can't hear Jen.
Oh, we just lost her.
Oh, yeah, we can't hear you.
I can see Jen, but I can't.
I can see Jen. I can't hear Jen. Okay. Yeah, I heard like a weird sound or whatever, and then it kind of dropped out. So try connecting and reconnecting. See if maybe we can get you back in there. Ray, what's your next one?
All right. So my next one, I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go with this one. So you look at them trying to flip the script, and Mr. Mom, right? Where the dad has to stay at home now, and like it's hilarity because he doesn't know what he's doing, and how many stay-at-home dads are there now? Where it's like that's not that many because dads,
Yeah.
what the hell they're doing?
I mean, okay, so on one part, because I've had this conversation with Sai, on one part, the trope of dad doesn't know what the hell's going on, doesn't know how to do stuff, that is still very, very common today in a lot of advertisements. So that part, dad doesn't know what he's doing. I think that kind of still flies. But you're right, the whole idea that he doesn't know because he has to be stay-at-home dad. You're right. Nowadays it's just like, and so, especially after COVID, like it's like, no, that's a common thing. Like, yeah.
So I don't think that would even be.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We got
Yes.
I got you back.
Sorry, what movie did you say?
Mr. Mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was one that I enjoyed as a kid, but it wouldn't hold up because dad has to stay at home now and be the mom.
Gender roles aren't,
They aren't nearly
a
what they.
thing anymore. Well, they are, but.
Stay-at-home parent.
I would love being a stay-at-home
We'd be
dad.
so-
I would love to be a stay-at-home dad.
Full of cheese and sugar in the house.
I would have to be Christina had that conversation. I would have to be the stay-at-home parent because she can't stay at home for several days without it driving her insane. And me, I'm just like, oh shit, I haven't been outside in 4 days. All right, well, so.
That's both of us though, but that's.
Yeah, I know we both can stay here and be like, oh, yeah, it's been a week. I should leave the
We should
house.
probably go for a walk or something.
You know what? The one way this
The
might
sun.
work. Yeah, no joke. Yeah.
So bright.
The one way this might work is if you didn't make it, if the comedy wasn't based on the fact that it's a guy staying home, just because he's a male. If the concentration was the fact that he was like this big shot, high up or whatever, corporate ladder or whatever, and thought that was hard, and it's like, no, you don't know hard until you tried to raise. That might still fly.
I'm okay with that, whether it's the mom or the dad, whoever's making the money.
Right.
And all of a sudden the other one like got on and created something, and they're now the one that's making the money, and the other one has to stay at home.
Yeah.
If they flip the script that way, then maybe, but you got to be really careful on what roles you're choosing and.
Yeah. I don't think you can keep the title. I think he still has to go.
No.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chris, what's your next one?
So again, I got a couplet here. And one of them is one of my favorite movies. I actually have a T-shirt of this. So it breaks my heart a little bit that I couldn't be remade. Adventures in Babysitting and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, specifically their use of gay slurs.
Yeah.
They only say it once specifically in Bill and Ted when they go pull away and they go, creeped out that they hug each other. And then in Adventures in Babysitting, it gets brought up a lot because the older kid doesn't want the babysitter thinking that he's.
So the other one I'm going to throw in there with that is Teen Wolf, because they throw it around all the time in that one.
Mm-hmm.
You can't use that.
No.
The F word there is just nope.
No, it's not. It's it horribly. And that because I love Bill and Ted. I love it.
Oh yeah, there's just that one scene.
Just that one scene. If they cut
like,
that out,
we gotta cut that.
because it doesn't need to even be there. Because it's like they would kind of remind me of a precursor to Silent Bob and Jay. Like if Silent Bob actually, they're platonic life mates.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, like they're together. They're soulmates. And the fact that they like that is a thing they don't feel comfortable doing.
Yeah.
Like, they can't hug each other, or it means that they're like attracted to one another. It's just ridiculous. It just perpetuates the whole like men can't be affectionate with other men without it meaning something sexual. And, like, he's the best hugger ever, and he does not. He will pick you up.
Yeah, I actually rewatched those. You know what I noticed? Now that I think about it, I never did go back and watch Bill and Ted Face the Music, but I was prepping for it and went back and watched the first two. And you're right. Of that movie, I'm like, okay, this is fine. And then hit that. I was just like, whoa, that was kind of
like it just
swerve and swerve back.
Yeah, so we just can like cut that out and like pretend.
And you know what? They can still hug and then look away from each other and then just cut it right there.
Yeah. Don't say anything.
You just mute that whole scene.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that one scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where Steve Martin and John Candy are sleeping in the bed with each other, and they wake up and they're like starting to talk about football and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's like it's like Joey and Ross having the nap together.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was like the best.
Except that Joey's like, I want a nap.
Yeah, and they finally like realize that they want a nap together, and then all of their friends judge them for having a nap together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joseph, what's your last one? If we need a speed round after this, we can do that.
Okay.
I'm gonna do Porky's because Porky's. That's all I have to say.
The end.
Yeah.
Yep.
The whole movie. Just. Yeah.
Can't even remake it. Like
The premise, the humor, yeah.
Nope.
That crossed my mind, and I skipped it just because I was like, man, this is kind of low-hanging fruit.
Exactly.
No, yeah. There's a whole genre of those type of movies that would just have to be like, yeah, this was a thing at one time. So, the next one I had was Predator. A lot of the humor is pretty super, super hetero, everyone, yeah. The other thing is the portrayal of the soldiers in the jungle. I don't think just kind of rolling in and killing all these guys willy-nilly is going to fly. I think we're going to have a little more background as to why they're the bad guys, and probably maybe throw in some different ethnicities just to make sure that it's not like, oh, hey, we're going to, even though we've got a couple black guys on the team, we're not just going to go kill all the brown people.
you can go in and kill the drug lords or,
And see, yes, that would work. You could definitely, because it is a great story. It's a great sci-fi action movie. There's definitely some things that need to be changed or whatever a little bit. So,
I mean, they addressed that in The Naked Gun where they're painting their face, and he hands it to the black guy that's like, oh, and it goes to the next white guy. They kind of addressed that a little bit.
Yeah. See, that's another movie I really want to go back and rewatch. I just don't know if it's gonna hold up. Because God,
I was gonna throw that in when you were talking about Police Academy, but
yeah. Because there's so many jokes in those that are just. And see, even if you stayed away from jokes that are specifically, either homophobic or sexist or whatever, that style of comedy of just a mile a minute, every 2 seconds there's a new joke, there's a background gag or whatever. I'd love to see another movie made like that. So
was the part two that they had the fight scene and he's dipping his hands in the icing and he's getting
and hot shots
instead of nails and
yeah. I forgot about that. Jen, what's your next one?
So this one kept coming up, and it's not the overall movie's probably fine, but Clueless, they said the word retard a lot in it. Yeah. And now when somebody says that, I'm just like, is it 1999 or what? Like when did we start saying that again?
Yeah.
Because I've heard people recently say it, and I'm like, that is not okay. That hasn't been okay for like 20 years. Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't have been okay back then, but yeah, that's kind of a big one, and yeah, that's all I can really remember from that movie. But again, I don't have great movie recall, so it's been a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a long time either.
It's pretty funny otherwise, from what I can remember.
Yeah, but is that the one where the girl, like, she likes her stepbrother?
Well, she brings over this box of stuff that they had a fight. No, right. That's what it was. They had a fight.
But is it the stepbrother that they like?
Yeah, Paul Rudd's her stepbrother. That is a thing too.
Popular apparently.
This is a whole genre.
Oh yeah.
That's another thing I forgot about, I guess. So.
We can thank Clueless.
Yes.
Who doesn't age?
Yeah, no joke. Ray, what's your next one?
I'm gonna go with this one because there's nothing like taking a woman who has amnesia kidnapping her and telling her that your family is hers. Overboard.
Yeah, no.
Just
I didn't like that movie when I saw it the first time.
They remade that just a few
Yeah.
years ago too, and I don't think it did well.
Isn't it the opposite?
Yeah.
it's the opposite.
Anna Faris? Yeah.
She's the worker and he's horrible, and
Yeah, he's rich and horrible.
but still the whole the person has amnesia and you're taking advantage of it and convincing them of a life that they don't have. Yeah.
And then like abusing them.
Yeah, totally abusing her, like just horrible to her
Mhm.
because she was a prissy white. Yeah.
She's
Anyway,
rich, yeah.
she was a rich person, and anyway.
Although with the movement of eating the rich, that might actually fly still. People may be like, yeah, that's really horrible.
Right.
She had amnesia and everything, but she was rich, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So who knows? Yeah, overall, I agree with you. So, but Chris, what's your last one?
So another grouping: Forrest Gump, I Am Sam, and the Other Sister. So these probably wouldn't. If they would be remade, they would be remade with the appropriate actors cast. Like you wouldn't have neurotypical lead actors in these movies. You would have neurodivergent people cast in these roles. So those ones are problematic today. Back then, I mean, I think Tom Hanks got nominated for an Oscar for Forrest Gump. And then I Am Sam won the Oscar. Sean Penn won the Oscar for I Am Sam.
Yeah.
And then the Other Sister, that was Juliette Lewis
Yeah.
and Giovanna Ribisi. He also played a neurodivergent person.
Yeah.
So just that casting wouldn't happen. Because look at Sia put out that movie called Music, and she cast.
I guess you'd also throw what's that one with Dustin Hoffman?
Rain
Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The movie did a fantastic job in it. Like
A Beautiful Mind would probably be another one too. Yeah, maybe.
maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the casting wouldn't have been that. It would have been, it would have been more somebody who aligned with the character. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. As much as I love Forrest Gump.
I've seen
I
it, like,
love Forrest Gump.
we love it very much, but we know, but watching it, it's a movie of 1994. Like, that belongs, and that's where it should stay.
Yep. All right, if we can do a speed round real quick. Does anyone have anything else they want to throw in? Joseph's
I
got
have a speed round.
right.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh, no, that movie.
Such a good movie, though.
Oh,
Such a good movie.
Yes.
Just it wouldn't fly.
Oh.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
I can go on about that movie.
The little guillotine.
Yeah.
I just thought of There's Something About Mary. There was some questionable scenes making fun of people with mental disabilities, and weren't there? I'm sure there were plenty of other things, but that's what stands out the most to me.
That just makes me think. Can I throw another one in there?
Yes.
Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I kept trying to think of the name of that. I was like, Robert Downey Jr. in blackface. What was it?
The question is the fact that they call him out on him and they're like, this is not right. Like,
And I think that was the whole point. And
yeah.
good on them for doing that.
Yes.
Right.
Need Tom
He knew what he was
Cruise
doing.
as Les Grossman, though. Did we need that? I don't think we did.
You know they were going to try to do a whole movie about him, right? Just spinning his character off.
Yeah, they were.
I can't even look at Tom Cruise right now and just look at him like he's a normal person. He's nuts.
Sorry, Tom.
Sorry, Tom.
If you're listening.
You might want to tone it down.
Him and the Scientologists are listening.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Tapped
I
in.
have an honorable mention. It's not a movie, but the Saturday Night Live sketch, Ambiguously Gay Duo.
Oh,
Yes.
So funny, but
Oh my
also
God, yes.
so offensive to gay people because,
Yep, but
you just watch it. But it was made in the 90s or early aughts, so.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
I remember that. I totally
So did I.
God, that was funny.
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah.
All I'm thinking about Tropic Thunder is he made the comment or whatever. He's like, right? And the other black guys are just like, you are not one of us. Like, what?
Yeah.
Was What do you mean, you people? Like,
Yeah,
what
exactly.
You mean you people?
Yeah. God, that movie was funny. All right, Ray, I know you've got some other things you want to throw out there. What you got?
Short Circuit, because there is brown face in that one. But
Yes.
if you do remake it, though, well, anyway, that's a whole other story. Little Monsters was a terrible movie that should never be remade. Monsters Living Underneath the Bed.
Don't remember that one.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then Pretty Woman. I'm sorry. I don't think it will ever get remade.
Never say never, but
Listen, the premise of the story. Really?
yeah.
Just saying.
It had a good soundtrack.
A lot of classist undertones in it.
I enjoy the movie, but it probably shouldn't. That whole I'm just
Maybe the reason. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the hooker with a heart of gold just doesn't fly today.
Uh-uh.
So
Also, you can't call her that.
that's very true.
That's right.
Sense worker.
That's right.
So, all right. Well, unless anyone has any other ones they want to throw out there, let's go ahead and move on into our picks and pans. Would anyone like to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, Chris. What is your pick and or pan?
I just have picks, keeping it positive.
Good deal.
I got my first COVID shot on Friday.
Woohoo!
Yay! Only a sore arm. That was it.
Good deal.
Yep, and that was it, and it's pretty much gone today. If you want to watch a TV series that will totally, you just shut off your mind and let it happen to you, Emily in Paris. Nothing profound about it. It just let it wash over you.
I've heard it's so bad.
Stupid. It's
So
just
bad.
stupid.
And it won all these awards.
Yeah, I know. I watch them like, okay, I realize this is trash. Why? Anyway, and then last night started watching another show on Netflix called Sweet Tooth, based on a DC comic. It's actually really interesting. We're only 2 episodes in. It's very, very interesting. We also watched the new Cruella. I loved it. It was amazing.
It was actually pretty good. Yeah.
Really?
I wasn't expecting it to be good.
No, I was expecting
and
it
it was.
to suck.
It wasn't. It was actually
It was
pretty
pretty good. Emma Stone does a great job, and Emma Thompson, I love her. She's perfect. She's perfect. And do you want to say it, or what happened yesterday to your sister? Or...
It was my pick, but that's
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Ray's
No, go
sister,
ahead, Ray. Ray,
Your
what is
pick is her
and
pick.
Pan, Ray?
Ray's sister got married yesterday. Kind of.
Yay!
Yeah.
Aw.
Us yesterday morning. We couldn't come because of numbers, because we're still under sort of a lockdown situation.
So my pick is that there's a path behind her house, and we conveniently went for a walk.
We went for a walk.
As it was, it's like, hi. So yeah, we stayed within the rules and walked away.
Yeah. We said hi for about 5-10 minutes, and then and then.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, did you have another pick or pan, Ray, or?
I did have another pick, which was Sweet Tooth, which is actually a pretty interesting
It's
and
very
cool
interesting.
show.
Yeah.
The other one that I'm going to throw out there that I'm surprised Chris didn't. Dandy and Friends.
Oh
What a
my
wonderful
goodness.
character.
So it's this. He's actually on TikTok. His name is Ryan Leslie something. I can't remember his name. Anyways, he has this character that he does named Dandy. Dandy is a dandy. If you don't know what a dandy is, he is the early form of a metrosexual with some homosexuality attached to it from the early 18th, 17th century. Anyway, he does
the
this,
makeup and everything.
It's so funny. I don't even know why it struck me hilarious, but
It's a great character.
he's so funny. So Dandy and Friends is his Instagram account. It's just fun. He's so good at it. It's so funny. He has the Lavender Society. I reposted one of his TikToks, and then he reposted it, and I may have cried.
Nice.
Yeah, but it really positive LGBTQ character.
Yeah, it's
and,
funny.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna jump in here real quick with mine. I've got two. Kind of have a third, but I've just started it, so I'm not gonna jump on that bandwagon quite yet. Love, Death, and Robots season 2 on Netflix. If you love interesting anthology type, animation or whatever, because every one of the episodes is about love, death, or robots, and in some cases has 2 or all 3 of them in it. Some of them are definitely a little more thought provoking. Some of them are just like, oh, that's a cool animated story. The other one is, and hopefully I'm not stepping on Joseph's shoes on this one. Castlevania season 4, the final season for it. I am very pleased with how it ended up. I thought the final battle could have been a little more involved. I'm glad it went down the way it did, though. But yeah, I really liked the entire series. So it did not go the way I thought it was going to go. Went to some places I would have never thought. Like, they definitely added a bunch of kind of backstory to this. I mean, it was based off the Nintendo game. It was Castlevania 3. It's based off of that. Kind of surprised the pirate never showed up, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. So if you like anime, this is a really good one to watch on Netflix. So, very gory. So, you know, if you're not down with that, don't check it out. So, Joseph, what's your picky in your pan?
So real quick before I jump in here, for Love, Death, and Robots, I don't know if they did it for the second season, but for the first season, depending on what country you are in the world, the episodes play in a different order, yet it still forms one cohesive story.
Oh, cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just the way they did the story. It's kind of like a sort of like a pick your own adventure kind of thing, and it's just each country got a different version of it.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a little fun little fact. Actually, I was not going to go with Castlevania. My pick so far, today I finished the 6th episode of Jupiter's Legacy. I have really enjoyed it so far. It sucks that it's getting canceled. I understand what they're doing to go with from the villains side of it for the next season. But so far, I've really liked it. I didn't spoil it for myself, but when I read the article about it being canceled, it said it's being canceled despite it ending on a cliffhanger. I was like, well, damn it. So now something in the next few episodes is going to just leave me like, why did you do this to me? But if you like The Boys, if you like Invincible, just kind of like this whole real world, what a superhero would be like in a real world situation kind of thing, it's really cool. The action sequences, you can tell this was not a huge like multi-million-dollar budget kind of show. The special effects are pretty cool, but it is a little like janky when characters kind of move around, and when they fly, you can almost tell that the character is like in a harness because of the way they're just kind of holding themselves or whatever. But if you can get past that, the storyline so far has been pretty cool. It jumps back and forth between present time and the late 1920s, so it's got that kind of feel for it. My other pick is more of just an anticipation. Loki starts next Wednesday, or on Wednesday rather, so I am low-key excited for Loki. I have to throw that in there. But yeah, those are my 2 picks so far. Oh, I guess I'll throw this one in there also. I got engaged. So, you know.
Oh, yeah, that was a thing that happened.
I was going to say, if you don't say that.
So that would be my third pick.
It was on my pick, but I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't want to steal it from you.
Yeah.
Jen, what's your picky in your pan?
Well, I'm going through an early life crisis right now, guys. I quit my job, I quit my house, and I'm moving to Ireland to go to grad school.
Yay!
That's what's going on with me. Just a few little things since we last spoke.
Nothing like
yeah, so that's me. And I watched finally watched a season and a half of What We Do in the Shadows, which I've been trying to get through. So I'm almost done with the whole series, and I love it. So
season 3 starts in September. Cannot wait.
Yeah, we watched that when I went to visit my sister.
Which
that's another one, I guess. I went to Oregon for a week, and it's beautiful up there, and I got to hike and breathe in the mountain air and just not be hot. But it was raining most of the time, so yeah, exciting things happening right now in my life. So I'm a little overwhelmed, guys.
Yeah, with Jennifer moving, it's going to be interesting trying to get her on the show. Number one, she'll be in grad school, so I'm sure she'll have a lot of stuff going on. But with the 5-6 hour, depending on how things go, time difference, we'll see what we can do. We may just have to record some afternoon episodes. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not getting up at 5 for you guys, 5 or 6.
No, I don't expect
or 2 a.m. when I.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a hard time figuring that out with Sustainably Geeky, but
Yes, yeah.
we'll work on it.
We'll get
Yep.
to it. Figure it out.
So, well, that is our show for the month, ladies and gentlemen. If you would please give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, Google, Stitcher, wherever it is you listen to the show. That really actually does help out a lot. Gets the information out there for other people to discover the show. You can check us out at epicallygeeky.com, where you can find all of the shows that we do, including Marginally Geeky, Sustainably Geeky, and Creatively Geeky. You can follow us on all the social media at Epically Geeky as well. And then you can find our individual adventures. Where can we find you online, Ray?
The Reluctant Yeti on Instagram, and I stay away from Twitter.
Where can we find? Yes, absolutely. Where can we find you, Chris?
You can find me here and Marginally Geeky, which I finished Project Hail Mary. And Creatively Geeky and Sustainably Geeky, and on Instagram at Rose and Hummingbird.
Jen, where can we find you online?
You can find me on social media at Het's Gonna Be Me, and here sometimes on Epically Geeky, most of the time on Marginally Geeky, and all the time on Sustainably Geeky.
Joseph, where can we find you online?
I'm the only Joseph Morales on the planet, and so you just have to Google that.
Good deal. And as always, you can follow my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For everyone on the site, have a good night.